All right, and we're live with the 93rd minute, second Google Hangout. We'll call it Golden Goal Round 2. We're here with our excellent cast from around the country. We have Kevin, Kyle, Sean, and Steve. Looking forward to talking about the U.S. men's national team, previewing a few World Cup groups, talking about some injuries as well, some big coaching changes throughout the world this week. And, let's get to it. Start with some introductions. Start with you, Sean.
Name is Sean, and try as I might, I can't get my hair to look anything more like Cristiano Ronaldo's.
Good for you. Good for you. I'm proud of you. Steve?
Hey everyone, I'm Steve, and I'm Harry.
Good, all right. 2 for 2 so far. Kevin?
I'm going to keep it a little more PG. I'm Kevin. I'm repping the American Outlaws today, Baltimore.
Good. At least we have one American here so far.
That's great.
Kyle?
I'm Kyle, and Bulva, you kind of got the Jeff Cameron haircut going on. What's that about?
I wish.
Sweet flow, dude. Nice gel.
Yeah, where are you guys coming from? Where are you guys coming in from?
I'm coming in from New York.
All right, Sean.
Hoboken, the New York of New Jersey.
Ah, beautiful. Steve?
I'm in Fairfield, Connecticut.
And Kevin?
Baltimore.
Baltimore, Maryland. All right, and I'm coming in from North Smithfield, Rhode Island. You know, that place 40 minutes west of Boston, 40 minutes north of Providence. No one's ever been here before. All right, so here we go. We're going to start with, what everyone's talking about, I think, the most recent thing in the day. U.S. men's national team played today versus Turkey. Got a 2-1 result. From what I've read, from what I've heard, defense was a little porous. Some attacking things were good. Some players stood out. Some not so much. Some might have played themselves out of the team. We'll start with you, Sean. I know you're opinionated about this. Who was the worst player on the day? Who was the best? Who gets your? We'll give it a golden boot for the game.
I'll go for worst. I think it's a tie between Timothy Chandler and Graham Zusi. Zusi didn't seem to bring anything to the table. I didn't know what he was doing half the game. He didn't look like a threat at all. I think he basically played himself out of the starting spot. I don't think he played himself out of coming off the bench. I'm a mixed disc group fan, and I haven't seen him do anything other than play himself onto the thing. So, and then for Timmy Chandler, that was an awful game. He's fast, he's skilled, but I'd rather have DeMarcus Beasley. At least I think he can do a capable job. And then best player, I don't like to admit this because I don't think he was the best player, but most improved player was Josie Altidore. He still has no scoring touch, which is really disconcerting. But the fact that he was able to do what he was supposed to do, which is hold up play and really bring the midfield into the game, he did what he was supposed to do, so he's at least improving in that aspect.
But what he's supposed to do is score goals, and he's not scoring goals.
Dempsey's also there. So.
What's that?
Who's up?
I couldn't hear anything.
I couldn't hear anything either.
Yeah. All right. Well then, all right, Sean. We'll go with Kyle then. Kyle, same question. Who's the best? Who's the worst?
Okay, I'm on the Timmy Chandler support club. He's been getting a lot of heat on Twitter and all the post-game reports. He had an up-and-down game. He actually made a number of nice plays. He had a couple of bad plays. He had that giveaway at the end that led to a breakaway. But for me, I like him better than Beasley, especially at left back, especially against our opponents in the group of the World Cup. For me, the worst player on the day was Brad Davis. I'm still not a big fan of his. Nothing personal, but I just don't think he brings that much to the table. I like Alejandro Bedoya better.
Mm-hmm.
My best player for the day was definitely Fabian Johnson. He's really dynamic. He's a good defender. He's a smart player. He picked his spots to get forward, and that run and that goal were just world class. So he was my best player on the day.
Okay. Kevin, what about you?
Well, I agree with Sean. Timmy Chandler had a pretty rough game, but I disagree with the Brad Davis and Graham Zusi combo. It worked when they flipped sides. I guess it was midway through the game there. Mm-hmm. They put Zusi on the left and Davis on the right, and it helped a little bit better. I just don't know that Zusi had any help on the right side there because Josie's floating up top, and Fabian Johnson was either pushing up way past him or he had to drop back. Or, it was a tough spot for him. But he had a couple good balls there. And best player, I don't know. I think Michael Bradley had a pretty good run there. It was he was dominant in the middle. I don't know how the whole him and Jermaine Jones thing is going to work out though. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
So amongst the group so far, we've had the wingers struggling. Davis, Zuzi. Steve
I thought Zuzi played well. I just thought Davis played poorly.
well, I'm talking to Steve right now, but thanks, you're muted. That's it. Steve,
I have to say,
hold on. The question is though, is Donovan missed right now based on that assessment?
no, it's too early to say anything.
Okay.
Too early.
So,
Coming
okay.
down towards the World Cup, if they can't make any plays,
Mhm.
then you can definitely make that call. But I think 2 games in, one against whatever the heck that country's name is, that's really not. They just played counterattack football. They really didn't play anything.
Mhm.
Turkey was the first test, and you know what? They gave them a hell of a test because I think actually the worst player today was Tim Howard because he couldn't control his defense in the box. They were disorganized, and that led to way too many shots. And then Klinsmann gave purposely, I think, Guzan a test to throw him in a heated situation to see if he can get the team together.
Mhm.
And he responded magnificently, except for he had a PK that he almost saved. You know, he had that one, I think, game for Aston Villa where he saved 4 PKs. You know, so it was pretty. I don't know. I just think that's where it started. Offense looked okay. They just couldn't find the net.
Okay.
And Zuzi, I don't think should start. I think he's way overrated, and he's not disciplined enough to put the ball into the box enough.
He's on the list. He's on the list for worst hair as well.
Can I change my worst player? I changed my. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm changing my worst player. It's not necessarily a player; it's a feature of a player. But I think the worst player on the field was Brad Davis's ears. Those are the ugliest things I've ever seen. You can literally hang a wrap of clothes off his ears.
Hey, once he retires, he could be in the next Hobbit sequel.
Who says he need to retire for that?
He needs a flow like Graham Zusi. Just hide those ears.
Exactly. Graham Zuzi's hair on Brad Davis's head, all set. We look good. Still, his
Or
left
Becker.
foot struggling right now. How was Beckerman?
He was solid.
I liked him back there with Bradley.
He was
Is he better fit than Jermaine Jones right now?
Absolutely.
Well, it's tough to say because in the first half they played a true diamond with Jermaine Jones playing the holding role, but in the second half they switched the formation to try and help shore up the defense. So Bradley was playing alongside Beckerman, so that definitely gave them. So it was 2 different styles, but I thought Beckerman did well, and I thought Jones did decently well in the first half as well.
Yeah, Jones didn't have that bad of a game. As a matter of fact, I remember specifically in the first half, the last set piece they had, he had a great clear, and he'd been doing that for the most part, marking up and winning head balls, and that's what he should do. But I think Beckerman, like you said, like Kyle said, changed up the game because they went more defensive, and Beckerman's way more of a controlling midfielder, almost like a very poor man's Andrea Pirlo, who can dictate the pace. Yeah, first Italian.
It took longer than usual, so it's good. We're making progress.
You guys got to admit, Jermaine Jones brings a lot of fire to a team that doesn't really. I mean, he gets cards and he kind of sometimes goes a little too far overboard. But I feel like he's one of those players that never stops until the final whistle, and I like that. And when times get tough in the World Cup, I'll want a player like that who will chase down Cristiano Ronaldo and do a maybe too bad of a tackle, but I won't say anything just to get the ball back in those moments.
Yeah, the funny thing about him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the funny thing about him is like in his interviews in the U.S. Soccer 30 for 30, he seems so composed and well thought and all those things. And you figure he has that. Why on the field is he that way where it seems rash? But is it really just all calculated and that's just what he wants to be? Sean?
I definitely agree on that.
Okay. All right, well, round 1 in the books. I think it goes to, unfortunately, Steve. Steve takes round 1. Love the Howard comments, and appreciated the insight on the midfield there. All right, the first point ever. There you go. It's yours, Steve. Cherish that, okay? It might be your only one, so make sure it counts.
Okay, I got the first one. It's all matters. I'm done. I'll sign off. I'll see you later.
All right. All right. So let's move on to the World Cup group. We're just to do a couple previews here, a couple what you guys think, who's winning, those sorts of things. So we'll go to Group B. Group B. As much as the U.S. is in a group of death, this one is on par, if not more challenging than ours. You know, Spain, Netherlands, Chile, Australia. A lot of people have Chile as a dark horse finding a way out of this group. Netherlands with Van Gaal, all that thing, moving with Man United. They're not sure if Netherlands will perform where they should. And Australia, as much as you hope they just lose all their games, they find ways to win. And obviously Spain. So we'll start with you, Kevin. What do you think about this group? Who wins it? Who comes in second? And that's it for now. Go ahead.
I think it's hard to say that anybody but Spain wins this group. I mean, they're the defending champs, right? And they're just insanely good since then. I think it's important to look at the schedule though, because the first game of the group is Spain plays Netherlands, so that the two giants are going to be out first, right? That game will be over with. I think Australia doesn't have it. I don't think Chile has it either. They might put up a fight. I think it's like the last game of the group is Chile Netherlands, so that'll be interesting because it might come down to that game. But I still think Spain Netherlands go 1-2.
Okay. Yeah, that last game could definitely play a role in the second spot, maybe in the second spot. Kyle, what do you think?
Well, at first, I want to give some props to FIFA for featuring the last year's World Cup final in the same group. The draw really worked out well, obviously, but no, it's got to be Australia. They're the number. No, I'm kidding. I have.
Get off this podcast. That's it.
Spain's my pick to win it, so I have Spain winning the group. I think they're still the best team, and I'm actually petitioning FIFA if anyone who's not on the Spanish team, we could take them because Negredo, Navas. There's a lot of talent that we could use, but I'm on Chile's bandwagon. I think Chile's gonna outdo the Netherlands. I'm not that impressed by their squad in comparison to 2010. I think it's about 50-50 coin toss between the two, but I think Alexis Sanchez is a different player for Chile. He plays like one of the best players in the world on Chile. I like their pressing defense. They're all over teams. And I think Netherlands are just going to wilter in the climate down there. Yeah. So I think Chile is going to upset some people, and they'll get second.
I think Chile's athleticism combined with they're already playing at high altitudes at home, that's definitely going to help them. No question. Sean?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Kyle on this one. I really do like Chile. I like Arturo Vidal in the midfield, Alexis Sanchez up top. I think also being in South America and South American teams have done historically well in tournaments on South American soil, so I can't count them out. They got a lot of fans that can have a relatively quick trip to come support them. So I think the group ends Spain, Chile. I think Netherlands, like 2010, they're a great squad, and they always run through qualifying, and they always look so good. And then they just seem to wilter, and it's you wonder how they have all this talent, and then they still can't put it away. And then you have to take into account that Van Persie hasn't looked himself. He's always been injured this season, so if they don't have their best striker fully fit, and they don't typically succeed in South America anyway, I don't see how they get out. And for Australia, I mean, put another shrimp on the bobby. I mean, they're not going to do anything. They're going to have 3 games, and then they're going to go drink some beers and enjoy the Brazilian woman. So they got that.
All right. Steve, I know you got something to say about Van Gaal as well, if you can focus with Netherlands. So what do you think about this group?
I'm going to echo Kyle and Sean's picks. I think that Louis van Gaal, he's focused on Man U. So, I mean, that's it. I think Netherlands are going to fall apart. They don't have Kevin Strootman in the midfield anymore.
Van der Vaart being hurt doesn't help.
Exactly. That just happened. He's out as well. Van Persie's got glass knees too. So that was a big body. That was a big thing from him coming to Arsenal and Man U. Arsenal loves him, but some fans are saying, you know what, good riddance. Maybe we'll get a striker who can survive the season. Okay. You know? And with that weather, they're going to be playing. Are they playing in the rainforest? I'm not sure. I can't remember. But regardless, it's going to be humid. It's going to be tough on all them because they are all pasty people from up north and in Europe. minus Nigel de Jong. But anyways, Spain has to get their feuding down. That's always a big thing before the World Cup because the majority of the team comes from Real Madrid and Barcelona. So if they can figure that out, they'll be the best team to beat again. If not, that's gonna be their problem. They may implode because I know tensions are rising in the last Clasico. And then Chile's playing. He's got home field advantage. Arturo Vidal had an amazing season again, and he's gonna come out firing. So I think it's going to go Spain, Chile, Netherlands, Australia. Sorry.
Okay, so you all made excellent points. I can't make a decision on that one. Let's end it with this. Torres over Negredo. You have 7 seconds to defend or deny. Let's start with you, Kyle. Go.
I would have taken Negredo, but Torres has been there. He's done it on the big stage, but you can't go wrong. They're going to win the tournament either way.
Sean.
Torres, what has he done? He continues to do nothing. Just take the guy who's. You don't have to be there to do it again.
Steve.
I agree with the Torres move. He's found goals for the Spanish team. As much as I don't like him playing for Chelsea, I think he's been the biggest flop in the Premier League. So I think it's good.
Kevin.
I hate Torres, but he's going to score like 6 goals against Australia and be fantastic. So.
Very, very true.
All right. Kevin takes it with that one. I agree. I like Torres. I like Torres in the team. He's going to find some goals. For whatever reason, this guy is going to find goals in the World Cup. Right? You heard it here. It's recorded for everyone. So Kevin will take round 2. Steve on 1, Kevin on 1, Kyle and Sean stuck in Australia with those Barbies right there. All right. Quick round here. We'll just do maybe a little 20-second spiel. Yaya Toure is in the news again. Little Premier League action here. Talk of him moving from Man City. They're saying it has something to do with being snubbed on his birthday, but it has nothing to do with that. Does he leave Man City? What will happen to Man City if he does, and where does he go? Let's start with you, Kyle. I don't think you've started one off yet.
I think he is going to leave based on all the rumors and comments flying around.
Mm-hmm.
And I know PSG and Barcelona are the 2 rumored destinations. I'd love to see him back in Barcelona. I think he's the exact player they need. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm pulling for. And I think he's probably aware of that. And I think he wants to go back. That would be my pick.
Okay. Steve.
I disagree. I think he's going to PSG because at Barcelona, he left along with Samuel Eto'o because of a lot of racism that happened there. So I think he's going to take that into account. Plus, he wants a front office gig, I think, when he retires. So that's another thing that Manchester City apparently has snubbed him out of. So, and who knows? Maybe he'll come to New York FC too.
Yeah, with Lampard and those guys. That'd be great.
Yeah, never know.
Sean.
I mean, first of all, does anyone else think Yaya Toure is the one person who, on Facebook, when everyone wishes him a happy birthday, he goes down and like. I mean, I don't doubt that there was something to do with that he doesn't feel respected, and I think PSG is going to do anything and everything to get him because I feel like they know they're on the cusp of it and they just need a player of his quality, and they'll just create another fake sponsorship for like $800 million and bring him in along with all the other players they're going to buy. So he goes to PSG, and I don't think Man City. I think Man City's already lost him by now. He's already booked his flight out.
Okay, Kev.
I agree with Sean. I think he's going to leave, and I think it has something to do with the environment there at Man City. Even though they just score a ton of goals and they're really good, I just don't think that it doesn't feel like a team. It feels like a revolving door of really good players. So if he goes to PSG or Barca, anywhere, maybe Arsenal, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Wenger would never open the checkbook like that. Come on. We all know that. No, but that does seem to be a problem with these big clubs with the money that's involved. Like you said, a revolving door, players in and out. Yaya Toure is a special player. He helps any team he goes to. I'm gonna give it to Sean. I like the little Facebook comment with Yaya Toure. I feel that way as well. When I was reading about that, I couldn't believe that. I mean, obviously the media is making all that crap up, but still, what's that?
So what's wrong with that? You guys don't do that?
I just wrote a big thank you to everybody. Thanks for wishing me a happy birthday.
All right.
Remembered.
So Kyle's all alone right now in last. Dead last.
Oh, I feel like Yaya Toure, guys.
I'm proud of you so far.
Nobody
Yeah,
loves
don't go-
me.
Don't go
Nobody
cry about it on
loves me.
social media. All right, so back to the World Cup. Since we were just talking about Yaya, we'll go to Group C. It's an interesting one, probably just because any of the four groups could find a way to win it, and that obviously leaves the rest of the group open. So we'll talk about Colombia, Greece, Ivory Coast, and Japan. How do you see this one ending, Steve?
I see Ivory Coast taking it, and then I see Colombia coming in second. I'm going to play with the home field advantage being in South America, plus they have a talented squad for Colombia. As for Ivory Coast, I think Didier Drogba still has a chip on his shoulder because he wants to come back to Europe, specifically, apparently Juventus wants him. And also, Gervinho has been firing on all squads for my Roma. So I think that they're going to be a very talented squad that's very athletic and fast. That's going to be tough to beat in the group stages for a group like this.
It seems like Gervinho's had a real revitalization at Roma. He was absolutely shocking at Arsenal. I really didn't like watching him. But then at Roma now in FIFA, he's one of the best guys. It's really annoying and frustrating to play against him. So
It's all about the coaching. It's all about the coaching, as you know.
it has to be. It must be the American ownership. That's what I think it is. But that's just me.
I'm fine with that. If that's what it's the reason, that's fine.
All right, Kyle, what do you think about this group?
This is my overlooked group of the tournament. I think this is going to be one of the most fun ones. It's pretty evenly matched. There's a lot of fun attacking teams. The Ivory Coast likes to get out there and attack. They have some talented players, Drogba, Gervinho, as mentioned. Japan has Kagawa and Kazuki Honda, who are both great attacking players, and they're an organized team. They always compete hard, play well. Greece, we know, they're the weak dog of the group, but they're
6-3-1. Tuck that shit in. Let's go. That's it.
yeah. But
Park the bus twice.
I think Colombia is going to advance, and I think Ivory Coast will get second, but I think Japan's going to fight them tooth and nail for that spot.
Okay. All right. Kevin, you look like you're doing research. Let's go.
Yeah, because I was trying to figure out who the hell's on Colombia, and I have no idea.
Jackson Martinez. He's going to be.
Valderrama's making a comeback.
Yeah, okay. And all I know about Greece is that they peaked when they did really well at the Euro that one year, and I haven't heard anything about them since. So I have to give it to Ivory Coast, and then I heard Japan has Pikachu on their jersey this year. So clearly Japan's taking second place.
Wow.
Maybe first. Who knows? I don't know.
He might evolve by the end of the tournament.
If he becomes Raichu. If he becomes Raichu.
Colombia has Charmander. I don't know.
Sean, last but not least, or maybe the least. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I would mean Colombia obviously was the favorite until Falcao went out, and then all of a sudden they look a lot shaky. I mean, they're still a good team. They're still going to advance. They're still playing in South America. But I'm going to go like Kyle. Got to go with Japan. They're the first team to qualify for this World Cup. They got Kaisuke Honda. They got Shinji Kagawa. They're a good team. They were exciting. What was it? South Korea, and they're an exciting team. Kagawa. Honda's not been playing as well as he should be. Kagawa as well. They've been kind of not the forefront of their teams. But I mean, like the World Cup is their chance to shine. They're playing with teammates they're usually comfortable with. They're the stars of the team. It could be their breakout after being buried beneath their teams all during the club season. So I'm going Colombia, the coffee/cocaine growers, and Japan.
And don't forget about Shakira producers. The World Cup anthem, guys.
All right, so round 4 in the books right there. You know what? I'm gonna go with Kevin. He's getting another point from me. He struck a chord with Pikachu on the Japan jersey.
I'm playing to your strengths.
Yeah, no, I see Ivory Coast and Colombia getting out of that one. Japan is a good pick, but the form of those two guys you talk about, Honda and Kagawa, over the domestic seasons has not been great. I don't see them turning it on for the World Cup. Drogba will score. That's the only thing he knows how to do. He's a monster. And Torre will run the midfield. They still have the guy Koke up top. Ivory Coast as well, right? Koke? No?
Kone, yeah.
Yeah. No, him and Drogba work well together. So. Okay. All right. And, well, I see that happening. So Kevin's on 2, Kyle on 1. Kyle on 0, sorry. Jump too soon. Jump
Wow,
too soon.
don't rub it in. Jeez.
Jump too soon there. Steve
Salt
on
to the
one.
wound.
Sean on one. We got three, maybe four to go. All right. So we'll just keep going with the World Cup since we're flowing right here. We already talked about the Europeans struggling in the World Cup, especially when it's in South America. The weather, the fans, the girls, the beaches, the transvestites, all those things, they affect the European teams. So Group D, I think Steve's gonna feel strongly about this one for some reason, but it's a tough group. If you look at the teams there, Uruguay, England, Italy, and Costa Rica, it's a tough group. Who wins it? Who wins it? And do they have any chance beyond the group to make more out of the tournament than just getting out? Steve, we'll start with you, obviously, because I know who's winning this group for you.
I think that this is going to be a very tough group to predict, even though I'm biased as an Italian fan.
Mm-hmm.
I think Italy's going to be either hot or very, very cold, as we saw against Ireland the other day. They couldn't make anything happen in the midfield, but that was also their B squad, quote unquote. And they're supposed to have very talented players as B squad. But that being said, Uruguay's going to win it. It's, again, home field advantage, plus Eddie Cavani just is a machine. No one can stop him, regardless of where he plays. I think that England is going to choke, and Wayne Rooney's probably going to be doing something with some little 14-year-old hookers. Okay. So we'll see what happens in the favelas there.
So you just say that Wayne Rooney's going to be boxing a 14-year-old hooker? That's not good.
I don't know. I said he's going to be a loss with, but boxing sounds even worse. I don't know. He might. He's got a temper.
Oh, okay. Does Montolivo really hurt Italy that much that he's not in the World Cup? Not at all.
I think he was very overrated, and I don't think he should have been on the team anyway. I'm happier with Antonio Candreva.
Okay. Kevin, what do you think about this group?
This group's really tough because Italy and England are like the obvious choices, right? They're the juggernauts. I don't know what Uruguay is going to do. I mean, they have some star power, but I don't really know how they're going to play out. I feel bad for Costa Rica as another CONCACAF team getting screwed in a tough group. I think they're destined for last place here.
Okay.
And I want to say Italy and England get out. Italy plays Uruguay in like their last game, so they might be set by then, depending on England. England always starts out pretty rough, so I think England and then Italy first, then England and Uruguay are fighting out for second in this group.
I think Suarez being injured, he's not going to be fully healthy for this tournament, no matter what anyone says. I think that plays a big role in how Uruguay does. As good as Cavani is, because he is an absolute machine, I think those two together are a different level, different class. So, Pal.
Hey, Steve, is Candreva a player or a pasta sauce? But no, in all seriousness, I think Italy's going to have a bad World Cup. I didn't like how they looked versus Ireland. I don't like how every one of their players plays in Serie A. But I'm actually giving England some credit here. I think they're going to get second. I like Uruguay to take the group. Mm-hmm. I think they have more than just Cavani and Suarez. They have some good players in that team. So, and I think being in South America will help them. So I'm going to go Uruguay 1, England 2. And I kind of, on Kevin's point, I think Costa Rica is a solid side, but they're just not going to do anything in that group.
Mm-hmm. Steve, you have 10 seconds to rebuttal that Italy's not getting through in Kyle's prediction.
Kyle's wrong with his first saying every single player plays for Serie A. There's 3 players that play for PSG and 1 player that plays, I believe, for Sunderland with Josie Altidore. However, England's going to choke. They always choke. I'm reading it right now in Soccernomics.
Okay. Sean.
First of all, Soccernomics, there's some flaws to that, so just be careful when reading it. But I really love England right now. I think this is probably the most loved I've ever gone into a tournament with an English team. Their aging core is starting to get pushed out the door. Gerrard's still there, Lampard's still there, but there's Barkley, Iana, the Wilshere, Henderson. I really think this team's more exciting, and like Kyle made a comment, all the Italian players, most of them are in Serie A. The problem with England is most of them played in England, so they don't learn continental soccer, they learn English soccer, and that's unfortunately what Roy Hodgson teaches. But a lot of the players, Barkley, Henderson, Lallana, they're learning continental soccer from the coaches they have in club, and I think it's really going to create a much better team, much more energetic team, and will take risks. I think Sturridge is firing on all cylinders right now, so I don't really give a shit what Wayne Rooney is capable of, because I think that this is Sturridge just time to shine. So I think England wins the group. Uruguay comes in second. Italy crashes out, and Costa Rica gets third.
Wow. So Italy fourth, not even third.
Costa Rica's third.
Wow. Okay. Italy really falling off the map there. You know, I really like your analysis there, Sean, with the youth infusion of the England squad. Maybe they can bring some creativity to a team that's normally stale, boring, and just unfun to watch, for lack of a better term. So I'm gonna I think England does. They push through. I think they win the group, and I think Uruguay, Italy do battle it out. As much as I want to pick Italy, I think Uruguay has this home field advantage, and Italy's going to be feeling a sour taste of some less than clean women after their first 3 games.
Yikes.
So, Sean's on 2, Kevin on 1. Yep, Kyle on 1. No. Or Sean on 3.
I'm on 3?
You're on 3. Big time over there. Put on a monocle, man. You're all set. All right. Last couple here, all right? So, we've been talking about some coaching changes, those kind of things, how they affect groups, if they can bring teams out of the depths of nothing. Tottenham has struggled recently trying to keep themselves relevant in Champions League, Europa League, in the Premier League, for that matter. Ever since they sold Bale and spent $120 million in a less than advised way. Is Pochettino, is that how you say it, Steve, the right hire? And if not, who would you have hired?
Start with me.
I'm starting with you. That's a direct question.
Well, I think it's the right hire. They're protecting their investment. They invested over $100 million for a bunch of young guys who didn't speak any English. 2 of them should have learned it. They have families. They're very mature on the field. I had this discussion, actually, with one of our followers. And one of them being a guy from Roma. His name is Eric Lamela. He was only 22, so you got to kind of give him almost a like a handicap because he's still developing. He's supposed to be the next Cristiano Ronaldo, which is highly doubtful because Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the most talented people to ever play soccer. I hate to admit, but I think bringing in a guy who doesn't like to play, kick it to Gareth Bale and then see what happens, like kicking and screaming. Play to the Italians. I think that this guy's going to actually be able to spread the love within the group and organize a team and keep them playing very motivated.
Okay. All right. Kevin, we'll go to you. What do you think?
I'm a little biased because as an Arsenal fan, I hate Tottenham and I want them to be awful every year. But I think it's a good move. I like him. I looked him up a little bit because I didn't know much about him. I think he's a good fit for the young squad that they're trying to build. I wish they would have done a little bit more with all that Bale money they got, because I feel like they won't see that for another few years, like the benefit. I just want them to keep a coach because they've flipped coaches like every 2 years for the last 20 years. So I think the key to their success is just going to pick something and stick with it.
Yeah. How long was his deal? Does anyone know? How many years?
A 5-year deal.
5 years, yeah.
What are the odds it lasts 5 years, Kyle?
I don't know if it'll last 5 years, especially not in the Premier League, being in London. But I like the hire. I was impressed by the way Southampton played this year. They had a fun attacking style, which I think will suit Tottenham's team. I mean, I actually liked a lot of the signings they made. Obviously, they didn't work out last year, but I think maybe with the right coaching and a different direction. I mean, Eriksen's has a ton of talent. The guys that are already there are good. I think Soldado's got to have a better year. So I think Tottenham's going to definitely do much, much better, and I think it's the right move.
All right. Sean.
No, yeah, I like the hire. I love the way Southampton played, but I'm just worried with the Tottenham. Like, they won't get that money again, and they did pick up good players, but I don't think there's rumors of a bunch of those players leaving because they don't get Champions League football. And Southampton's a different beast than Tottenham right now. Tottenham has the mentality of a top 4 side, especially after they spent all that money. And the expectations were very low for Southampton. They exceeded them, which makes him he's probably going to be a good coach for them. But how long are they going to give him before they start they start looking for other coaches and buying players that don't fit his system. It's kind of the conundrum. Like you get David Moyes, but you don't give him longer than a year. How do you even know if you can? Sometimes you gotta give coaches more than a year, especially coaches that are going from a team like Southampton where he had to make it work with what talent he had, to Tottenham where he can buy and sell all these different types of players, and he has all these big expectations. So if they give him time, I think he'll succeed. But if they do what they've done in the past, then I think he'll crash out before he gets to follow through with his mission statement, and that seems to be their MO of late.
Okay. I think the expectations at Tottenham are going to be too high for him. I don't think they give him any time to wait, so he's got to do it right now. I like Kyle. Kyle, this is the first time I'll say this. I like that you brought Southampton in the mix first and gave him a little bit of love in that way and enjoyed what they did. Sean did a brief, segue there, but not enough to take the cake in that one. So Kyle, congratulations, first point of the day. Took you six rounds. I'm proud of you. All right, I'm proud of you. All right, to continue with coaching changes, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go to Italy again. I don't know why there's so much Italy in this. Wow. But AC Milan, they found themselves struggling as of late. They're used to finishing top of the league, making deep runs in the Champions League, always being in the Champions League, and now they find themselves outside of all of that in the midst of a bunch of coaching changes, a bunch of player changes. They hired Clarence Seedorf this past season. A little bit of controversy there, given that he had no real experience as a big-time first-team manager, and they let him go. Is Filippo Inzaghi the right guy for this job? And I obviously got to go to the resident Italian for this. Let's go.
Well, I don't think he is. I think he's getting a lot of major hype, just like Clarence Seedorf did from other teammates. You had Gennaro Gattuso come out of the woodworks, who wants to be the coach for AC Milan eventually, say that Pippo Inzaghi is going to be the best. You have Carlo Ancelotti saying Pippo Inzaghi is going to be the best fit there, who was, again, another former coach who won the Scudetto, who won the Champions League with them, and even played for them. But, again, like Clarence Seedorf, this guy has very little experience. He's been coaching their youth side. Seedorf coming in used to own a joint team. There was like Series C or something like that, and that team went belly up. So I don't think that this is going to work out.
Sean, any rebuttal? Any thoughts?
I don't like the hire of taking a player and who has relatively no experience youth team. We'll give him that, but and putting them at such a high level, I think you can work them in through you can get a coaching experience elsewhere and then come back, and that's fine. But going up to a club with such high expectations and then just using your reputation to push you above more qualified coaches, I think is a recipe for disaster. And I also am not a big fan. Why did he have to add an O? Why couldn't he just be named Philip? Did they have to add an O for no reason? So for those reasons, I'm out.
You're in Shark Tank now? That's cool. I'm alright with that. Kevin, what do you think?
I think Inzaghi would be the same problem that they'd have with Seedorf. It's just a former player who was great, doesn't really know how to coach a top-tier team like that. I mean, why not wait until after the World Cup, see who gets fired, and then go from there?
Okay, I like that. I like that short, sharp. Kyle.
I mean, it's Italy, so they're probably gonna fire him by Christmas, or there'll be some match fixing scandal. So he's gonna be out the door. I don't like the hire. I don't like having a former player so close to his retirement being the coach. I think it's a tough transition to make. And Inzaghi, he was known for just being the ultimate poacher and just hiding off sides and not getting called. So I don't know what he's gonna bring to the table in terms of tactics, but who knows? And just to poke a little bit at Steve, when's the last time any Italian team has done anything in European football outside of Serie A? And I don't count Mourinho's Inter Milan.
Yeah, what about Inter Milan in 2011 when they won the UCL?
Who?
Inter Milan won in 2011.
Yeah, I know, but that wasn't
Mourinho's either.
The bus and got lucky.
Just saying, man.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do to win the big tournaments. I think.
But if I may make a point as well to add on to bigger problems in soccer. No?
No, you can. Let's go.
Well, Milan's got a bigger problem, and that's its ownership. It's Silvio Berlusconi, the former prime minister of Italy, who basically ruined the economy. He's appointing either his wife or his daughter as head of the football association that he created for Milan. And I don't know if that's a good thing. Not a shot at women in football, because there have been some very good ones. But I think that's the biggest distraction, because her and Adriano Galliani do not see eye to eye. And therefore, that is why a lot of things are happening that's off the pitch that's translating onto the pitch.
Okay, so you think they're in trouble. I think they're in a lot of trouble as well.
I got one thing to add.
What's that?
I think that in terms of just the player's reputation, like it kind of hurts him. Like Inzaghi, he leaves as a great player and he comes back and he ruins the team. And then all of a sudden, he's remembered as the coach who ruined the team rather than the great player. Like almost like Kenny Dalglish almost kind of ruined his reputation by coming back when he knew it was a bad idea, and then he had a terrible record. And all of a sudden, you start forgetting the great things he did for the club because you only remember the most recent things. So it's not a good move for him either. I'd rather coach elsewhere and then prove myself and come back rather than fail miserably and ruin my reputation as a player.
No, I think there's an inherent problem with bringing a player recently retired into coach a big club. I mean, I know they're doing their badges and all those things while they're playing, but it doesn't always translate from being a great player to being a great coach. You have to learn, you have to grow, you have to learn from bad experiences, and you don't want to have your first bad experiences at obviously a big-time club like AC Milan. So with that, did Man United finally do it right with Van Gaal, and Ryan Giggs is his right-hand man? I'll give it to you, Sean. You look interested.
I always look interested. Yeah, no, I've said this before. I don't like the hire. Well, I don't like Manchester United to begin with, and I like this hire a lot more than David Moyes. So I will say it's an improvement. But I think they're a type of club that builds from the ground up. They like to have a coach that's there for a while. They have a lot of investment into that team. When Sir Alex and Ferguson retired, like they lost a lot of money on the stock market. I think they need consistency. They need a rock on which to build on. Van Gaal's not going to stay there for longer than probably 3 or 4 years. I think they would have been better off hiring one of these coaches like Pochettino or Martinez, a coach with an idea of how he wants the team to act, the way he wants to run it, a style of play he wants to play, and really run with that and run the club that way, just like Ferguson did. They keep getting all these mercenaries. They become another Chelsea, a Tottenham, and they start to lose what it was that made them such a dominant force. So I think it was a bad move in terms of the type of coach they got. I think he is a great coach, but in the long run, I think it will hurt them.
Kyle, what do you think about that?
Sean makes some good points. I think it's a good hire though, because he's a big name. And I think they kind of need a big name to come in and reestablish Manchester United and show that last year was a fluke. And the players around the world and on Manchester United have kind of universal respect for him. He's very highly regarded. So I think he's going to be the guy to right the ship for them. And I know he tends to take jobs and leave quickly, but if there's any job you're going to stay at, it's probably Manchester United. So if things go well, I could see him staying for at least 4 or 5 years. And getting them back into contending for Champions League titles each year.
So the vagabond coach stays for more than 3 years. I'd be impressed with that, no question. Kevin, what do you think?
I don't know. It's gonna be tough to see how it plays out because about a year ago I would have been saying the same thing about Moyes. I like that move, and they just kind of used it as a nice transition out of the Alex Ferguson era. Mm-hmm. And then until they could find what they really wanted. And I feel it sucks for Moyes, but what are you going to do? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. See how many players actually want to stay around. See who we can bring in this summer. But I think it's good that they have Giggs there as like this number 2. I think that'll be good for them in the long run.
Steve?
I agree with Kevin and Kyle and Sean, all of those guys. But I think Van Gaal's going to leave after 3 years, and I think it's because they're going to want to appoint Ryan Giggs as their head coach. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to want him to train him alongside, keep the locker room tight together because they all trust him, And if he says that this is going to be okay, everyone's going to believe it. And then in the future, I would like to see Ryan Giggs as the head coach there. It would just be a great story. Guy played there for 20 years. Now going to be coach for another 20 years. That's Red Devils through and through. But I'd be interested to see what happens because I think Mr. Glazer recently passed away, who's the American owner. I'm wondering because a lot of the hooligans, so to speak, or the really invested supporters of the Man United fan club are calling for them to sell. Maybe that happens. Maybe they get sold to a huge oil company like Man City, and then all of a sudden they have guys like Roberto Mancini and Mourinho's all come in, every 4 years. So hopefully it doesn't happen because traditions are wonderful to keep, regardless of whether we like Manchester United or not. But we shall see what happens in the future. I think Ryan Giggs ends up becoming the coach in 4 years.
Okay, so once again, the English did something right in soccer that Italy did not. They put the coaching staff in the right order. Well done, well done. But Steve, you're getting the points that round. Love you touching on the kind of the tradition there, and touching my heart a little bit. So almost tearing up over here. So well done.
All right, I'll buy you dinner.
All right, so
James Joyce.
All right, so right now, Steve's on 2, Kevin on 2, Sean on 2, Kyle on 1.
3.
No, you're on 2. I lied to you before. You're on 2.
He's a coach. He's not a math major. Leave him alone.
Okay, come on. All right, so
Goal line technology.
This will be. We can go to
Sean is the
replay.
Qatar of this.
Run it back.
Round the horn.
We can go to video replay. I accept money sent to my Google Wallet account. I'll put it online. So last round here, we'll call it the money round, big money round. So 2 points. Everyone's on the table. Anyone can win. What you win 30 seconds of uninhibited airtime to say whatever you want to our viewers. All right. Topic is. Here we go. This is a age-old argument. I'm sure you guys have talked about it more than once. You have 30 seconds. I have an egg timer. I will flip it. Will there ever be an American promotion relegation system? You have 30 seconds. All right. Why or why not? Does it make sense? All of those things. All right. I'll give you 5 seconds to think about it while I bring on this stopwatch so I can be official. And let's see, who looks interested here? Oh, Kyle, definitely. Kyle, ready? Let's go. Let's hear it.
I say no. I just think it's too of an un-American, for lack of a better word, concept. I think we're moving towards the way with our academies and partnerships with the United Soccer League and like the NASL. I think they're going to be like feeder systems and have like reserves, but I don't think we're ever going to see promotion relegation. I just think it's too foreign of a concept. We're not used to it in American sports, and I don't know. For me, I'm not one of the proponents. I don't think you need promotion and relegation to have a quality league. I think that's an unsupported claim, but that's my 2 cents. So I don't think we're going to see it in America.
Okay, Sean.
Yeah, I don't disagree that that it's a foreign concept. I think it would fly here. I think the reasons it won't is because the soccer entities we have don't interact with each other. They don't all interact with each other. USL Pro, they interact with MLS, they have that deal, but NASL is a totally separate entity. They don't like the MLS. They don't really want to work with the MLS. They want to beat the MLS. The New York Cosmos don't want to join the New York Red Bulls and New York City FC. They want to beat them. They want to beat their viewership. So I don't think it's going to work just because there's no working together between these leagues. And if there's not, then why would NASL want to be the second division when they can work on being the first? They're not going to accept the second. They'll want to be the first as well. So because they won't be able to work together, I think that we'll never have promotion or relegation unless we tear them all down and restart.
All right, Kevin.
I think maybe one day, someday, it'll happen. It's just not going to happen anytime soon. You have to have more quality leagues than just one quality league in the country, and then such a leap. Nobody wants to go play for the Cosmos. Villa and Lampard are going to NYCFC for a reason because they want to play in the top tier. But maybe one day. I mean, we'll get there.
Okay, Steve.
I think it's going to happen. Money talks. I know NASL and MLS do not like each other. However, I foresee in the future that there's going to be some huge investor who wants to combine both leagues, maybe tear down a few teams or send them down to the USL, use them as a secondary league. That will allow for this relegation system to be had. It'll create more competition, at the top and at the bottom of the tables. That will definitely encourage a lot more viewership in the U.S. I mean, there was talks years ago of them taking off offsides in soccer, which would have been terrible, but awesome at the same time because there have been a million goals. Goalies like me would have been left out to hang, and they could have, they might as well just take away the goalie at that point. But I think Aaron Cantona is actually doing a very good job at NASL, especially with being the spokesperson and director at Cosmos. So I see them up and coming. So hopefully someone who has billions of dollars that's watching this will get the idea and combine these two and create a relegation system.
All right, all pretty good arguments. All pretty good arguments, whether it's the USL Pro, that they don't work together with the NASL, where money dictates, which I think is huge in this. I hate to do this on the inaugural, point tally system that we have here, but I got to give to Steve there. I'm a full believer that it's going to happen. I really think that money talks. I really think that name dropping Aaron Cantona was huge for me. Big fan of him and what he's doing. It's going to happen whether it's 10 years.
Maybe he'll trademark the unibrow for the MLS or the league that will form.
So whether it's 10 or 15 years down the road, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. There will be a time when the New Jersey Rangers, Sean, they'll be playing in the MLS or have a chance to play in the MLS, going up to the 8 tiers they have to go through to get there.
Long Branch
Newport FC, my beloved Newport FC.
There you go, Newport FC.
I'm glad this is recorded so I could play this back in 15 years.
And when we're right, I mean, it's going to be good.
We'll see.
All right, so Steve, this is your one chance only. Don't expect to win ever again. I was very generous to you this round. You got a minute. Say whatever you want.
Wow, that's tough. I think that the winners for the World Cup is going to be Brazil. They're going to run train. It's their home turf. They're going to do it again, and Pele's name is going to be held with the likes of Neymar. David Luiz is going to be irrelevant, even though he's had a huge transfer to PSG. I think Thiago Motta is going to be the real big name next to Neymar. Besides that, the U.S. is going to make it out of the group. I've got a lot of confidence in them, regardless of how bad their defense was today. I think they can do it. They can pull together surprising people, especially if they counterattack the way that I know we could. And besides that, Italy, I don't know. No one knows. Even all Italians don't know. So we'll see what happens.
All right, you have 10 more seconds. Any last thoughts?
I beat you, Kyle and Sean. Kevin, I'm sorry.
Never again.
And I'm going to win next week, too.
All right, so Steven takes the inaugural golden goal. We'll call it around the horn point system. Well, we'll come up with an official name next week, but Steven takes the first one. Congratulations, Steve. You have 1 in your tally. Everyone else stuck on 0. Maybe Sean wear a different jersey next week. That'll help you out. Kyle, I'm not sure what will help you, but we'll figure it out for next week. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for playing. Thanks for talking soccer with us.
You got it.